Okay, so we've got this map here. If I can hold it, I'll probably have to go in front of the camera now. I should have brought out a chair, I think, but if you can see that. So we've got Western Australia over there. There's quite a lot of plants up there into the Northern Territory, carnivorous plants sort of thing. We've got the Blue Mountains over there, and you can see stuff over there. Tasmania, you can see where the bits are down there. Now, the thing you had to sort out between the difference between here and here, because over here you've got the limestone coast, and we've had the largest copper mine that's ever existed on the planet there. Most of the Victorian copper came out of this mine over here. So that's why it's called the Copper Coast. It's also called the limestone, or the Copper Triangle and the Limestone Coast sort of thing. So the idea was to sort this out, and I think I've sorted this out. The problem is, copper is not the highest micronutrient found in peat. It's this other element over here, sort of thing. And there's a little thing that tells you, over here, where is it, over here, the Ningaloo Reef, I think it is, you have these cyanophytic nodules. Over here, the rivers flow to the ocean, whereas over here the rivers flow inland, sort of thing, apart from over on the other side of the Blue Mountains, of course. So there is a major difference there between the flowage of the rivers, sort of thing. But if you go up here to I think it's the Ningaloo Reef, they actually have these cyanophytic nodules, and you might want to look up what they actually use to actually grow, sort of thing, because it will open your eyes, sort of thing, and it all starts to make sense after that. So this is the reason why we have so many carnivorous plants and all this speciation going on here. Why they don't like phosphorus and all this other stuff. It's all interrelated now, and it all makes sense. And we're going to try and show that it all makes sense by starting to grow some of these common plants which are regularly known to be difficult to grow. Things like strawberries, plants of the coastal plants, of warped soils. Of course, when you get to coastal situations, you get things like coastal disease. So you might want to think about that. Is it really a lack of copper, or is it something else that's going on? So anyway, is it this other element you've got to think about? Anyway, we'll see how we go. But it all seems to be tied up with iron metabolism. As I said, a little goes a long way. Less is more, as they say. So if you have something that's ticking away 24/7, 365 days a year, just ticking over, it doesn't have to do much to make a big effect. As long as it's spinning around, the little wheels are spinning around, the plant's going to get enough of its iron supply and other elements. It's going to get enough of that to actually grow and be seen to be growing, and to grow very fast and to become robust with vigour, thrive, thriftiness. That's the idea anyway behind all this. It's the idea that copper is not probably the highest micronutrient found in peat and other peat-related material. It's been confused with this other element. And in fact, you had to sort this disparity out between this other element and the largest copper mine that's ever existed on the planet. That was the confusing bit. The country that has the most carnivorous plants in the whole world had the biggest copper mine in the world that's ever existed on the planet, as far as we know. That was very confusing, especially when all the books said the highest micronutrient in peat was copper and other related humanities. And yet everyone said that these plants and all these related plants don't seem to like copper. Well, they were correct. They don't like copper. It's being confused, in my opinion, with this other element. And this other element is over there in Western Australia, where we have the most number and speciation of carnivorous plants and other CP-related weeds. If you've gone to WA, the weeds over here are more vigorous, more robust, and even the flowers are like 2 shades darker than they are over here. So we should be able to test these things. We should be able to see if the flowers get darker. Maybe take a pinguicula or something like that and see if we can make the flowers darker by about 2 shades. Take some other traps or something and see if we can make them darker, make them thriftier, bigger, more fat, more robust. faster growing. Anyway, that's the idea. So we're going to see. We're going to put it to the test. But that's basically coming up. My general conclusions are there's been a big mistake, and now we can, if it's correct, we should be able to wipe out the whole peat industry and maybe even the whole koi industry and just use sand. And slowly over time, it gets, your bucket of sand will get better and better and better and better and better and better and better, and the plants will just get better and better and better and better. And you put a rhubarb in there, and you think, how the heck is this plant growing? It's basically a bucket of sand with a bit of formula on the top. No peat, no koi, no nothing. But anyway, we're going to test that out, and we're going to go through all those plants like strawberries, rhubarb, gunnera, whatever else seems to be related and has this sort of commonality of being malicious, not maliciously, very hard to grow. It's got this historical record going back for maybe a couple of hundred years of being extremely difficult to grow. Some people can grow it, other people find it extremely hard to grow. Maybe now it will become extremely easy to grow, and you'll grow it even bigger than the people who used to grow it really well, you know, like double the size or something, you know. Turn a rhubarb into a plant the size of a gunnera plant, you know, average gunnera plant. And that would be just the regular rhubarb sort of thing, be the size of a gunnera plant. So anyway, that's the idea. So we might end up wiping out the koi industry, we might end up wiping out the peat industry, which surely is a good thing. Well, that's what they tell us. Oh, there's this other thing about the peat industry. They used to say, we got to curtail the mining of peat because they up in Canada they only have enough peat for the next 600 years. However, they fail to mention, if you read all the papers, that over in Russia under the permafrost they have enough peat there for the next 600,000 years. Of course, they may need machines the size of dinosaurs to dig it up, and you may have a problem with the methyl hydrate going into the atmosphere, but again, it's another furphy. It's another narrative, another misdirection, propaganda tool. You know, maybe it was a propaganda tool to try and get you onto cheaper koi than where they're paying these blokes over in these countries, you know, peanuts to do all this stuff, and they're selling it for, you know, $5-6 a brick or something, and the bloke over in India or Sri Lanka or wherever it is gets like 1 penny a day or something, you know. As I said, you know, the dialect church has been around for 2,000 years. Have they made poverty history? Well, they say that the current is going to be the last. So we'll find out. But I think that they've had a 2,000-year run, and I think they've been found to be wanting. So we still haven't made poverty history. They talk a lot about it, but I don't think they have done it. I think they've gone the other way. I think they're actually trying to create poverty. So anyway, over and out for this one. We'll see how we go. Is it already changing colour? This one's almost gone down. We'll see. Is there a bit of petrolization going on there? Might be, don't know. Have a look. Anyway, I'll keep you informed. Over the coming days, we'll start planting things in like that, and we'll just keep slowly watering them and see what happens. See if they start growing amazingly, and see if we can actually start germinating some seeds on koya instead of peat. Maybe eventually we'll start to be able to germinate seeds just on a bucket of sand with a bit of formula on top. Won't that be fun? And just watch them grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And you'll get so many, you'll max out your greenhouse, and you'll have to give your plants away because you'll just have too many. And they'll be growing so quickly. None of this 5 years to grow from seed to a little tiny plant like we used to have back in the 70s. People spending, you know, half their life just getting a basic collection going. When you should be able to do that in a single season, surely. But anyway, yeah, when you go out into the wild and they just grow so amazing, how come they grow so well out here in the wild? And yet I just can't do that at home sort of thing. There must be something wrong with the theory. Well, I think we've found a major error, but we're going to put it to the test now, and I think you're going to be very happy. I think the joy's going to come back into the hobby finally, because everything's going to be so easy, so quick, so magnificent. But anyway, that's it for this one, I think. See you on the other side in a few days' time for the next one, next instalment, the next update. Okay, see ya.